You know what we could do? Like, what if we gave the approval for something, but then refused to sign on it?
That I think we should keep on the table.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone, this is Kevin. Hopefully, you can hear me. Some people were and some people weren't, so we have a little bit of that typical Gather Town glitches happening. Let's head back to Zoom. I will go launch Zoom and we will reconvene there. With that, I'm going to turn things over to John Ross.
Hello, everyone, and welcome today. I'm excited to be delivering this address, and I'd like to welcome all assembled guests.
One of the primary goals of Reacting to the Past is to change the way we learn or are taught history. And it's a lot about the kind of historical other, like coming to have understanding or empathy of a historical actor that is distant in both time and culture from us.
You are assigned a person. You have family members, you have specific belief systems, you have specific beliefs on and passions and connections, friendships.
I feel like that kind of reaffirms like he's not lying to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I am glad, because I really think I was so much more invested in my characters than I've ever been in like a video game or in a story.
Earlier in the term, you're kind of like, okay, how am I gonna kind of embody this character? I mean, any character, but once you get into it, you get swept up in it very easily.
And so in our game, like Red Clay, obviously we're not trying to gain sympathy or empathy for someone like, Andrew Jackson or Wilson Lumpkin, the governor of Georgia, but Jace Weaver, the author of Red Clay, who is a Cherokee citizen, created the game because it's often presented in very binary and simplistic terms, and it's just simply not that basic.
It always kind of seemed like the Ridges were traitors. In reality, there were a lot of people with a lot of different opinions, and things could have very well turned out differently.
It's interesting to try to like step back and see people holistically, especially when you're trying to be that person. And I'd like to say I'm not a hateful person, so it's interesting having to like step in and be like, oh, I have to go against my beliefs somehow, but also sympathize and share the desires of someone I don't agree with.
Your character is given to you in this role sheet, and you kind of combine yourself with that character. You use all of your diplomacy skills and your communication skills and your strategy skills to try and work things out from there.
If it is a removal treaty where
we don't really learn a lot from Dr. Hatfield directly. He says, this is what you're trying to do. Here's some resources for trying to learn it, and good luck.
That sense of freedom is quite empowering, being able to direct what you're doing and what you're able to do. And that's not to say that Professor Hatfield doesn't interact, because I email him basically every day on the nuances, the rules of the game. Like, okay, can I do this based on what's written in my roll sheet and my abilities?
I thought it was going to be more like a board game where like, haha, like I'm going to do this, and then like play a card and then you do something. But it was much more deep than that.
It's not a class where, you just like write a paper, read some books, No, you want to find the most material you possibly can, the most evidence that can, refute the other side, so that it makes you more successful.
I like to crochet. So I kind of thought, ooh, maybe I can just like crochet and do something fun that's actually for a class. You could have a speech and refer to the wagon in the picture.
I wanted to make something and do something creative. With the Phoenix, my main goal is to show a united, strong front for the Cherokee people.
I'm really open to anyone who wants to put a piece in the paper to send it to me.
All of a sudden it's 1 a.m. and you're, writing to somebody about, oh, I think we can make this deal work.
I like go on a hike and I'm just thinking like, what am I gonna say in my next class?
I'm literally, last time I was giving speeches as Benjamin Franklin, I had to continue, like, as people were talking, I was like, oh, maybe I should also say this and add this. And so I'm very much expecting to be listening to people talk.
Yeah.
And be like, oh no, let me just revise this entire thing I wrote.
Yeah. Well, I can't speak. it's a very rewarding experience and something that's going to immerse you in this very specific historical moment that'll probably get only like a sentence in a history book.
And so that's the other part about this, is that it's not just a reenactment where we're doing exactly what happened. It's having students reason through these historical dilemmas and come to a plausible conclusion.
There's a possibility for our people to stay on our land. Now, this might come at a cost, but I think this cost might be worth it to for our people's well-being and safety. However,
you can have a counterfactual conclusion like we just had in our game. We ended up with a treaty that gave Georgia the Florida territory and allowed the Cherokee to remain in Georgia. Like, that didn't happen in real life, but it could have.
Dr. Hatfield, he's developed passion into students about something that, normally they might not think, too much about.
This class offers a really unique opportunity to really push yourself outside of your comfort zone if you're willing to do that. And it also kind of just helps you build a bunch of team and leadership and conversational skills. And so I encourage people to try to take courses like this that kind of seem like, you're like, what? Read it. You have to read the description twice. And they'll probably find that they have a lot of fun that way.
So I think that's the great thing about the class and the people that are in this class, is because